Hi guys, Brian here, and I just got back from Dragon Ball Resurrection F, seeing it in theaters. And if you want a short video, here's my quick opinion of it. It was really good, I liked it a lot. Not like an amazing movie on its own, but as a Dragon Ball movie, I enjoyed it and got a rather big kick out of it. So I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than Battle of Gods. I'm really looking forward to diving into Dragon Ball Super in the future. And I liked it. It all kind of meshed well and didn't have any super awkward moments to me. I liked it a lot. So if that's all you wanted to see, I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed to us and passed the word on about us. You guys are awesome, and you guys are the reason we keep doing these videos. But if you want a longer video where I go into more detail, that's what's about to happen. So if you want, you can shut off the video now and you're not going to miss anything other than just me rambling from topic to topic. But if you want that, stick around. Obviously, since I'm going to be discussing the movie quite in detail, you're going to get spoilers, so I'm not even going to try to hide these. So here's your spoiler warning. Spoilers for the movie. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Now, while I talk, it's going to be pretty boring if you're just staring at my gorgeous, gorgeous face and luscious locks. So I'm going to go ahead and splice in some footage of my friend and I playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse that we started doing the Resurrection F stuff for the first time. Or at least I started doing the Resurrection F stuff for the first time. And he went to go see the movie with me. So here's us playing Xenoverse and the Resurrection F stuff, which the rest of the channel will get to shortly. Okay, so as I said, I quite liked the movie. I don't have any major complaints about it, but I do have some nitpicks, and apparently I want to start off talking about those. So let's get the negative crap out of the way, and then I can start gushing about what I liked about the movie. One of the big things that kind of was odd to me was the pacing of the fights themselves. They weren't as fast and action-packed as they had been. They were slowed down. The fists were flying at more normal speeds. And yes, they did zoom out of the action of the fights to show that they were actually moving super fast. But from the audience perspective, the fights themselves felt like they were going kind of slow. I kind of like the, oh my god, these guys are throwing punches so fast, visuals that Dragon Ball generally has. So I would have liked it if they sped the fights up a little bit more. Just makes it feel faster to me, I guess. I like that. Another nitpick I have is that there was really no build-up to the introduction of what my friends and I have dubbed Super Duper Saiyan, because that is a better name for it than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, or whatever you want to call it. Blue-haired Goku. And Vegeta. There's just no build-up to it. It was just, bam, he has it, go fight now. But I was looking forward to him reaching that new level of power. I didn't want him to just have it. I wanted to see him get it. Felt like there was part of the story missing. Like, it feels like there should be a director's cut where we see Goku actually obtain that form for the first time. I don't know, it just felt not impactful enough to me, I suppose. So those are my biggest complaints and nitpicks that I have for the movie. Other than that, there's no bingo scene, which I actually did find amusing in Battle of Gods. There's nothing huge negative for the movie that I have to say. Those are just my two biggest nitpicks, I suppose. So now I'm going to start gushing about what I did like and pros and cons of various topics. I did kind of really like that they kind of seemed like they were teasing more fusion or more cooperation between Goku and Vegeta. And to be honest, I actually kind of expected that to be the key to defeating Frieza, of Goku and Vegeta going, we have to start working together, not necessarily fusing into a person to fight them, but fighting side by side at the same time. Given how much they were talking about it throughout the movie, I kind of suspected that. I did totally see Weiss just going, okay, rewind time. As soon as they mentioned that ability, I'm like, yeah, it's probably gonna, something's gonna happen and Weiss is gonna have to use that ability. And everybody it did. I really liked the world building that happened with the introduction of Jaco and seeing the remnants of Frieza's empire with Sorbet, Tagoma, and Sashimi. I think those are their names. I liked seeing that their empire was crumbling without their strong military force and strong fighters. So that was really cool. It kind of made me feel more like there was more to the setting than just the events of Goku's life. And that always makes me happy when I get a sense that something is going on in this entire universe rather than just this one character's life. I really love that they talked about King Cold and we're going to be bringing him back. And I also kind of really love that they that's taken away from them, unable to do that by Dragon Ball gang, whose names I don't remember. Shu, I think it was. So I dug that. I really, though, wished they had mentioned Cooler, but I'm aware he's a movie character, so therefore, to Toriyama's writing, he doesn't really exist. But I really like Cooler, so I wanted to at least a line saying, what about my brother? Oh, he's dead too, and we really didn't want to bring him back, or something. I would have liked Cooler to have been canonized. Bardock's been canonized, even though Toriyama's take on Bardock is not as good as the movie of Bardock, which is awesome. Something else I'm actually rather surprised didn't happen was there was no mention of Frieza's race. Given that in Dragon Ball Heroes, Dragon Ball Online, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse, a number of the Dragon Ball properties lately have been introducing the concept of other, well, I call them Icers because I think that's the best name for them, but I think they're actually called Frieza's race, Frieza's clan, Frost Giants, something along those lines. Ice Giants, I think, has also been used. I prefer the term Icer. That's what I heard them called back when I was being introduced to Dragon Ball and we saw King Cold and Cooler show up. I don't know where that came from, but that's a term I've always liked. So given how prominent other Icers are in other forms of media that Akira Toriyama has had interactions with, I know Dragon Ball Xenoverse, he helped do some of the character designs. He helped with Xenoverse a bit. So I'm actually surprised that he didn't make mention of other Icers at all. There is actually one thing I'm really surprised about for this movie, is that the amount of spoilers that were out there on the internet that weren't even attempted to be hidden at all were just kind of annoying to me. I really, really like going into a movie as blind as possible, going into a piece of media as blind as possible. When there's a game coming out that I like and I want to play it, I ignore it. I don't want to see any trailers. I generally watch trailers, but I don't go to forums discussing it. I don't go anywhere because I want to be as virgin as possible with the game. I want every single surprise to be impactful and surprising to me. So, given that this movie had so many spoilers that were just is so annoying to me, and really is probably one of the big things that I'm going to remember about this movie. Every time I look at this movie, I'm going to remember, oh yeah, I had the thing basically completely spoiled for me before I even saw the movie. I wanted Golden Frieza to be a surprise to me. I wanted Super Duper Saiyan to be a surprise for me. I didn't want to know about Super Duper Saiyan until I sat down in theaters and saw Goku transform into it. I didn't want to know Vegeta had attained that form as well. I wanted to go into that movie theater with no knowledge at all. But every news source, and even Tamashii itself, spoiled all that stuff for me because, hey, here's some figures that you want to pre-order. Oh, there's a blue-haired Super Saiyan Goku. Okay, thanks. Oh, thank you, Saiyan Island, for posting a picture of Golden Frieza on your main site without any spoiler tags at all. Now, about seeing it in a theater with a whole bunch of other people. And I saw it in a pretty packed theater. There were very few empty seats in that theater. It was a whole different experience seeing Dragon Ball Z with a whole bunch of Dragon Ball fans. It was really cool. I loved it. I missed a number of lines because people were laughing and reacting. So there might be some things that I might have missed. Not anything major, but a line or two, a reaction or two I might have missed because people were laughing. And I think I'm okay with it. I'll watch the movie again and catch those later. It just was a really cool experience to see it in theaters. I'm pretty sure I said something similar when I watched Battle of Gods in theaters. It was cool. I literally saw a guy who dressed as Master Roshi, complete with turtle shell on his back, come into the theater. There wasn't as much cosplay at my theater as I would have probably liked and got a kick out of, but, it wasn't exactly like it was a Comic-Con event or anything, so the fact that there was any was still kind of cool. And I'm now, tempted that I should have done something myself. I have the hair length in order to go Super Saiyan. That would have been cool if I did that, but didn't think of it until I was driving home. Power levels are bullplop. They were only introduced to show that the reliance on them was to be folly. That every one of the good guys who never used these scouters and never relied on power levels always surpassed what their power levels theoretically should come up with. I really expected in this movie to be just another reiteration of talking about how power levels are bullplop. Just because a guy has a power level of X doesn't mean that he will always win against a power level of Y. The best fighters can still lose to someone who is not as good as them if they don't have a good day, or the guy who's not as good as them has a really good day. It's not a static thing. Guys can lose to people who they wouldn't always lose to, and guys can win against people who they wouldn't always win against. Combat is always a influx, unknowable thing. You can't go in assuming that all the time this character will beat this character. With the exception of narrative properties. Goku's going to win because Goku's the good guy. So since Dragon Ball has aired, people haven't really realized that the power levels were bullplop and just intended to be an intentionally flawed source of measurement. You still have people arguing about what Broly's power level is. Broly's power level doesn't matter. It's whatever it needed to be to challenge the heroes. And I really kind of expected this movie to reiterate that, especially when Frieza made a point of saying my power level will be X, whatever he said it was going to be when he finished training. I'm honestly surprised that it wasn't brought up as how flawed it was, even more so, because I believe that in the fandom it's pretty well known to Toriyama that the fandom has latched onto power levels as something that they shouldn't have latched onto, but they did. So I expected you shouldn't be doing that from Toriyama, effectively. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about Master Roshi. Now, I've never been a huge Roshi fan, so seeing him get brought in and actually being part of the fight, I guess is kind of cool. But it's you're completely outclassed, dude. You shouldn't be there. Especially I found it funny that they were. It probably was intended to be humorous, but it was funny that they were talking about Goten and Trunks not wanting to get them killed, so they left them behind. But then they bring Master Roshi and immediately bring Master Roshi in that conversation. So I think it was supposed to be humorous that they're talking hey, we didn't bring the kids because they're going to get killed. Here's someone really weak. Oh, they were also talking about Yamcha and Tien at that point as well. I'm but Roshi is here? Yeah, I can understand Tien and Yamcha not wanting to show up when Frieza shows up, because that is just not a good place for Yamcha and Tien to be. So why the heck would Master Roshi show up? He should have gone, wait, Frieza's coming and he's immensely more powerful than most of the stuff that I've ever fought. I'm not going to be useful here. That said, I did kind of get a kick out of him fighting Frieza's minions. And to be honest, I actually thought Frieza's minions probably would be a decent match for him. He probably is about his par on those guys. So I bought his fight, even though I did find it dumb for him to be there. Speaking of someone who wasn't there, 18. I loved that she pointed out, I am stronger than you. And Krillin was no, you gotta stay here and protect our daughter. I think it probably would have been better if 18 said, no, screw it, I'm coming with you. Or maybe you should stay here and protect our daughter. Because 18 is right, she is stronger, and it would have been nice to have a strong female character in the fight on the hero side. But I liked 18 in it. She had short scenes, but I liked her. Krillin. I liked Krillin. He had good reactions. I really liked, when I realized he was the police officer chasing down those guys, I'm oh, that's Krillin. Yeah, that works very well. I like that. And he didn't have a dumb mustache either, so thank you for destroying that GT part. I know, it's different time frames, different timelines now. Still, I liked Krillin as a cop. That made sense to me. And I loved that when he pulled the helmet off, he had hair. I'm in the promotional stuff, I kept seeing Krillin without hair. I'm why? Why would he have hair? Okay, for those of you who don't know, Krillin was a Buddhist monk. And that's what those 6 dots on his head means. That's why he shaved his head, is that he was a monk. When he got married, that breaks the Buddhist vows or something to that effect, and thus he was no longer a monk. And thus he had to grow his hair, or he let his hair grow out. Or maybe had to or something to that effect. Basically, it's part of the religion thing. So when I kept seeing promotional material with him being bald, I'm he's going to come into the movie being bald, and it's not going to make sense because he's married. But then during the course of the movie, like he shows up and he has hair. I'm like, oh, he does have hair, good. And then they're getting ready to fight Frieza, and he says, I'm going to go bald. I'm like, okay, that justifies it to me. I'm willing to accept that now. So thank you for doing that for me. Does not excuse Gohan's hideous tracksuit, but thank you. I really, really didn't expect and love that they brought up that future Trunks killed Frieza. Like, basically every other time they talk about Frieza in the entire series, they ignore the fact that future Trunks defeated Frieza, not Goku. Goku did defeat him, but not dealt the finishing blow to him, didn't kill him completely. Tried to, but didn't. So the fact that they talked about future Trunks multiple times makes me so pleased. Granted, I would have liked Frieza to talk about him a little bit more, like say, and who's the, and ask about where future Trunks was. But, okay, whatever, I'm willing to let him slide on it. They addressed it satisfyingly enough to me, and that pleased me. I was pleased to see that. Now let's go ahead and talk about Gohan. Gohan, you disappointing man, you. I loved the story of Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, of Gohan having this immense power and kind of resisting his role to try and fill his father's shoes. And I really like, it's one of my biggest disappointments about the Dragon Ball franchise, that Gohan starts off with going, hey, I'm gonna be great, I'm gonna be great. And then he's like, I'm good enough. I don't need to do any more. Goku will always be around to save the day. No, Gohan, you were supposed to be the successor, the guy who continues the legacy. You're supposed to be both the mental and the physical, and you're supposed to be a great combination of the two. And the fact that he stops just training and doing anything with the martial arts is just really sad to me. It's one of the big things about Dragon Ball that I don't really like, is that Gohan's story just stops when it should be one of the focuses. So let's now talk about Uncle Piccolo. I loved seeing Piccolo acting as an uncle, and that scene where Videl comes in and calls him Uncle Piccolo just makes me laugh. It was cracked me up. Piccolo himself in the movie performed very well. I liked the way he fought. I liked everything that he did. Yeah, Piccolo was awesome. I liked him in the movie. Which brings us now to Tien, which Tien is, I probably have mentioned this in the Let's Plays, but he's another of my big disappointments with the series. He is the strongest human, the guy who keeps training, keeps trying to get stronger, despite the fact that he's so drastically outclassed by everybody. It's just so sad to me that Tien is not allowed to get on par with even Piccolo. He's always, being outclassed by Goku is fine, being outclassed by Vegeta is okay, but he's not even allowed to get up to Piccolo's level anymore. It's like, oh, come on. Tien's the strongest human. He's the guy who... Krillin's a good best friend and a good martial artist, and he's a good character. But Tien is the guy who I want to see him get stronger. I want him to be one of the frontline fighters constantly and getting better. Yamcha was never really all that much of involved in the martial arts. He just kind of was there to do it, kind of. Chaozu was kind of there as well. But his striving thing has been like, I'm going to get strong. And to see him just continue to get strong, but be completely overshadowed and outclassed by everyone else just makes me really sad. But anyway, all that rambling aside, I really did like the way he was portrayed in the movie. He showed up strong. He did cool things in it. He took out a bunch of the minions. I liked Tien in the movie. He was good. I two thumbs up for Tien for me. And so that brings us to Jocko, who I had really no opinions about beforehand. I know Jocko's history and origin, and that he's a manga created by Toriyama more recently, and is tooling around with Bulma's sister. But really, I haven't had much exposure to him. I know just the bullet points of him. So this is my first real exposure to him. And I have to say, I rather liked Jocko. As I mentioned, his introduction helped build the setting more to me, so I dug that. I also really dug his voice actor. The voice actor for Jocko, I didn't expect to have any strong opinions about Jocko. I expected to tolerate him at best. But I actually kind of liked him. And the voice actor was a major part of that. He did a very good job portraying this character who was rather weak, but kind of like pulled in the direction of trying to do his duty. Granted, he was more kind of shoved to do his duty than really pulled to, but I dug Jocko more than I expected to be honest. And I would not mind seeing more of him, to be honest. So let's talk now about Weiss, who I liked that they didn't go into detail about who he was, where he comes from, or his race at all. Like, they still left that a mystery, and I was willing to go with it, and I liked it. It's kind of starting to skirt into obnoxious territory where he's so one-dimensional about his love of food, and Beerus kind of is pushing this as well. So, yeah, they're being used as comic relief over their love of food. And it's starting to get on my nerves a bit, but not enough that I'm going to be upset about it. But I liked Weiss discussing the difference between Vegeta and Goku. I really wish that they had mentioned that the weaknesses and strengths of Goku and Vegeta complement each other well, which is why Vegito was such a powerful force. I wish they had made something like that, because it makes perfect sense. I also completely foresaw that Weiss was going to be using his temporal power to undo something Frieza does in the movie. So, kind of a powerful ability, but we'll see how it gets handled. And Beerus. I really liked Beerus in the movie. He continued on with his tradition of... He felt like the character. He did not feel like the character had been altered to appear in this movie. It felt like kind of a continuation of the character. So I bought him. I loved his interaction with both Frieza and Vegeta, and I really liked his interaction with the characters. I like these characters. I'm glad that they were introduced, and they were done well in the movie. Alright, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about Vegeta. I loved that Vegeta and Goku had this agreement of who was going to fight Frieza, and that Vegeta kept saying it was my turn, my turn, my turn. I love Vegeta actually started fighting Goku about who's going to continue fighting Frieza. That was great. That was, like, very fitting for Vegeta's character, I thought. So, pleased with that. I really, like I mentioned before, I really don't like that they just automatically had Super Duper Saiyan. I was under the impression that the Super Duper Saiyan was caused because of Goku's interaction with his Super Saiyan God powers now. So why did Vegeta also have Super Duper Saiyan? He never went Super Saiyan God. Or if he did, that seems like something fantastic that we should have seen. So it just kind of irked me a bit that he automatically had Super Duper Saiyan. Almost more than it irked me that Goku automatically had it. There was no explanation for how he got it. Kind of bummed me out. To be honest, I actually expected Vegeta to have more of a role in this movie than he did. Because after Battle of Gods came out, Toriyama had mentioned that he would love for the next one to focus more on Vegeta. Given that Toriyama had said that he wanted Vegeta to play a bigger role, and Frieza coming back, I just kind of figured that there was going to be a lot more to do with the destruction of Planet Vegeta. I actually expected we were going to see Bardock given his popularity as well, which obviously didn't happen. So, it's just... I expected him to have a bigger role than he did. I was pleased with what he had, but would have liked to have seen a little more, I suppose. And then, let's talk about now Frieza himself. I love that he flat out said he'd never had to trade a day in his life, and it makes sense. If he was that strong from the get-go, he kind of would be that egotistical, that monstrous, if you will. And to finally have somebody just smack him down, to make him go, okay, now I have to train. Granted, 4 months isn't exactly a long amount of time to train, but I'm willing to buy it based on his reactions. This is the first time that he's really had to train, and who knows what his capabilities are. So, given 4 months, and then they called out the fact that, I bet you rushed over to Earth as soon as you got that golden form, didn't you? He's like, yeah, so. I completely would buy that. I can completely see Frieza going, okay, I have to train now. Training. Suddenly, bam, golden Frieza. And he's like, holy crap, I'm stronger than ever. I'm going to go to Earth now and slaughter everyone. that's awesome. I'm okay with that. That seems very fitting for Frieza. I'm honestly surprised that his hell didn't include more references to Goku, but his hell was amusing to me. I really, really loved that A, it was called hell, and B, I loved the water above his layer of hell. That makes my creative brain just spark with, oh, that's so awesome that above him is just this ocean of water. Ah, it's cool. And Goku. I don't really know what to say about Goku. He was very Goku-like. He was done well. This did not seem like a different character. This does not seem like a different Goku than the one I had seen 20 years ago when I watched the series. This definitely seemed like the same character, just stronger. I said this in my Battle of Gods video. I don't like the look of the Super Saiyan God, nor do I like the look of the Super Duper Saiyan. It just seems like par of the course, I suppose. It just seems kind of predictable when Super Saiyan 4 looked radically different. And if you're going to go with something called Super Saiyan God, it seems like you should go with something radically different. I don't know, I'm just not liking Super Duper Saiyan as much as regular Super Saiyan. The transformation sequence was cool. I love the sparkly blue effects that were flaking off their body as they transformed. That was cool. But Super Saiyan just looks cooler. And I guess that's really all I have to say about Goku. It's just, he was still good. I like the character. So, yeah. Good job, I guess. I don't know, nothing amazing about him. One thing I'm surprised about with Goku, though, is that they seem to be implying the message that compassion is bad. That Goku shouldn't have had compassion for Frieza. When I am of the opinion that a hero is a better hero when he always has compassion. When he always is willing to give the villain the chance to redeem themselves. That no one is beyond redemption. That, to me, is what defines a hero, is somebody who is willing to give the bad guy the chance to redeem himself. Yes, there are horrible people in the world, and yes, there are horrible characters, and I don't think anyone should be denied compassion. That's what makes a hero to me. So to see Goku do that and be compassionate, like, yes, okay, good. That's one of the reasons I love Goku, is because he's compassionate and always is willing to say, you know, if you stop fighting, I'm not going to have to beat you. Yet in this movie, they seem to imply that having compassion for your enemies is a weakness. They chastised Goku several times for his compassion. And that's, I don't know, that just felt wrong to me. But to see that message potentially implied just kind of, I don't know, made me sad, I guess. So yeah, my final thoughts on the movie are rather positive. I quite liked it. I love that it's leading into a new series. I love the world building that it did. I really liked the movie. I'm pleased with it and want to see it again. And looking forward to diving into Dragon Ball Super. I like it. But I am actually really curious what you guys thought of the movie. So let me know down below what you guys thought of it. What did you think of Roshi? What did you think of Bulma showing up? What did you think of Jocko? He's a brand new character. What do you think of him? Golden Frieza, Super Duper Saiyan. What do you think? I want to know what you guys think. So I want to sincerely thank those of you who have watched this video, those of you who watch our videos, and those of you who have subscribed to us and passed the word along. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You're the reason we keep doing these videos. Until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.